Good morning, everyone. Jill here with North Texas Vegetable Gardening Canning Recipes, a little bit of everything. I am back in the kitchen this morning. It is Saturday morning and I am going to show you how to make roast beef, seasoned up for lunch meat. Now this is going to be part of my 365 canning challenge that I issued to all of you guys to preserve food. So I'm going to cook up one of these roasts that I got on sale a couple of months ago, actually, guys. So I've let it thaw out and now I need to let it get at room temperature. This is probably about a one and a half, let's see here, it's 2.5 pounds, which is just perfect. So to get started, you want to let your meat sit out and let it get at room temp as best as possible. So take it out and let it sit out for about 45 minutes to an hour. I already have all my spices ready, and let me go over this and tell you what I got. This is going to be a beautiful roast, guys, because I can slice this up thinly and I can put it in freezer bags and vacuum pack it and go ahead and pop it in the freezer, and we'll have fresh roast beef sandwiches for quite some time. So what I got going on here is I have a teaspoon of granulated garlic, a teaspoon of kosher salt, a teaspoon of fresh rosemary, a teaspoon of fresh cracked black pepper, a teaspoon of thyme, a teaspoon of onion powder. Now this is from onions that we freeze dried in the Harvest Right. And then I have about a teaspoon of ground dried mustard, and then about a half a teaspoon of paprika, and that's what's going to make up our rub for this roast. Now what we're going to do with the roast is we're going to coat it a little bit with some olive oil, and then we'll mix all of our rub mixtures together in a bowl, and we'll add it and coat the roast really well. So we have been extraordinarily busy, guys, the last week. We have gotten tons of seed starters going. We are going to be in the 80s next week, and that is still February. Get a little concerned about that summer that we've been talking about. So we'll be doing some gardening videos, and also I'm going to be canning up some carrots. So look for that video as well as part of the 365 canning challenge, and maybe some greens. I can do carrots and greens at the same time. So stay tuned for that. But anyway, our weather, we've been cold, we've been windy. We had, let's see, some 50-mile-an-hour winds from the south one day and some 50-mile-an-hour winds from the north the next day. So we've been extraordinarily windy. The weather's on a major roller coaster, and so we are looking forward to seeing what the long-term forecast is for March. And if you guys know, let me know, because I'm still very concerned that we're going to get a late freeze or a late frost. But our seeds are coming up fantastic, and we are getting geared up for planting. But let's get back here to our roast. Okay, so I'm letting my roast rest a little bit. I've gone ahead and got my dry goods, and I'm mixing them up to get ready to put some olive oil on my roast and then coat this baby with some of these dry goods. Now my oven is preheating on 480 degrees. It says to preheat 500, but my oven will not go up to that, so it's going to have to be 480. And so then we're going to coat this with a little bit of olive oil, and then we're going to coat it with our spices, and then we're going to pop it in the oven for about 15 minutes to let it get a good crust. So the oven is preheated, guys. You want to pat your roast beef dry. Now, an eye of round roast is probably the best way to do this. It's economical. But we are using this boneless tip roast. So now we are going to coat this in some olive oil. We want to get it rubbed in really good. And you want to coat it all over because you want to give the surface something for that seasoning to stick to. This is going to be so good. Do you guys remember Luby's? I love Luby's roast beef, and this is going to kind of look like the Luby's roast beef because it's going to be rare in the middle. The key to this is you don't want the center to get above 135 degrees. Okay, so I think we've got this rubbed down real good. Now we're going to add our seasonings. We want to cover this whole roast. And I want it to get pushed in there really good. This will make a nice deli style roast beef for sandwiches that you can make at home. That's much cheaper than what you'll pay if you go to the deli counter in your grocery store and buy roast beef. It's usually about $8 or $9 a pound. I can't wait to see how this turns out. Be sure and get the sides good. And I want to get that rosemary pressed in there. Now you can use dried rosemary, guys. I'm using fresh from my garden, because we want that to cook in really nice. So now I'm going to transfer to my roasting pan. And I'm going to get all the goodness off this plate, especially that rosemary. Now we're going to roast this for about 15 minutes on 480 degrees, and then we're going to kick it down to 300 and cook it probably for about 30 minutes. So stay tuned. It's been in for 15 minutes, guys. I did add a little bit of water in the bottom of my pan to kind of keep it moist and also to make maybe some au jus. So now I've turned my oven down to 300 degrees, and I'm going to put it in there for about 20 minutes, and we're going to check the temperature, because again, you want it to be around 130 to 135 degrees. So let's get started. So after 20 minutes, I just checked it. It was about 122 degrees, so I put it back in there for 10 more minutes. While that's cooking, guys, I've loaded up my bread machine, and we're making some rye bread so we can have some roast beef sandwiches tonight. It's right at 134 degrees, guys, so I'm going to let it sit. We want this to sit out for about an hour and an hour and a half, and then we'll slice into it and see what we get. So while that's resting, I wanted to thank you all for all the pictures you're continuing to send me for your 365 canning challenge and your food preservation challenge. I'll be putting those with my carrot canning video that I'm going to do tomorrow or the next day. So look for those. Continue to send them to me. I'm getting them all. Very excited with what you guys are doing. Right now I'm up to 79 jars, and so I'm really excited about that. Not quite a third. Probably about a quarter away, and I know most of you, or many of you, have already reached your goal from what I'm seeing. So keep on going, guys. We're still waiting on that vegetable garden stuff to come in, and once that starts coming in, we'll be able to can that as well, and that's where my carrots are coming from. We are harvesting carrots right now, and so I'll be canning up those carrots and possibly some spinach. Delicious. Can't wait to dig into this. You can see it's a medium rare, and we're slicing it on this pan so I can try to catch some of the juices. So we just took a taste, guys, and it is absolutely delicious. So So pretty impressed, guys. You can see it turned out wonderful. It is about medium rare. And it tastes delicious. Can't wait for that rye bread to be ready. And make us some good roast beef sandwiches with maybe some horseradish or spicy mustard. Any way that you might like it. When that rye bread's done, we can toast it up and make us some great roast beef sandwiches. So what makes this so great is it's not only cheaper, but there's no preservative, so it's preservative free. We'll have sandwiches tonight, and then we will vacuum pack the balance of this so that we can have roast beef sandwiches. Guys, in the coming weeks, I will be doing this again, and I'll be doing this again like really quick. So I got a couple more roast, I think, in the freezer. I'll do another one of those. And we want to go ahead and have ready to eat healthy lunch meat whenever we just feel like having a sandwich. So thank you guys for watching. I got this up a little high. We appreciate each and every one of you. Be sure and hit that subscribe button and share our video. And guys, stay tuned for that carrot canning video. We love you all. God bless. See you soon.